is going to be the first episode of the podcast loaded to YouTube. And so that means technically it is the first official episode of the BrainDead Combos podcast here. I am Brain. You are dead.
And he is
today,
not schizophrenic this time.
Yep, I'm not. That's a callback to an episode that did not get recorded fully. Yes, I am not schizophrenic. And dead is ironically alive. So today, our first order of business is going to be, we are going to have a little contest to debate who is the best villain in fiction, at least in terms of anime and movies and just general nerd shit. So our lineup currently is in no particular order. The Riddler of DC Comics, Regulus, what the hell was this guy's name?
Regulus Corneus.
Yeah, Regulus Corneus, Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, Thanos from Marvel, Stain from My Hero Academia, Firelord Ozai from Avatar: The Last Airbender, Bullseye from Marvel Comics, Kaido from One Piece, Darkmite from the My Hero Academia movie, or one of them, Bane from DC Comics, Wolfram from the first My Hero Academia movie, Nine from the... Was he the second? He was the second movie villain, yeah?
Yeah.
From My Hero Academia. Taskmaster from Marvel Comics, Conquest from Invincible, Omni-Man from Invincible, Homelander from The Boys, Darth Maul from Star Wars, Magneto, also from Marvel Comics, Megatron of Transformers, Toji Fushiguro from Jujutsu Kaisen, Green Goblin from, again, Marvel, Doctor Doom from Marvel, of course, again, Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat, Zoom from DC, Reverse Flash from DC, Sabretooth from Marvel, Mahito from Jujutsu Kaisen, the Joker from DC, Tomura Shigaraki from MHA, All For One from MHA, and Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen. That is our lineup. How we got there, I have no idea. Most of these are what we would classify as D1 haters. And I have gone ahead and put every name on a wheel and spun it randomly to shuffle this for the bracket. Unfortunately, I cannot stream the bracket because it is on my phone. But our first matchup is a kind of simple one to me, and probably also to you, Brain. I am Brain. Fuck. Megatron versus Conquest. I feel like this one could go kind of either way. Megatron, the D1 hater from the Transformers universe, known for his quite frankly, strangely intimate hatred of Optimus Prime,
Enemies dropping into the
and really kind of every Autobot, and Conquest from Invincible. What do you think
The thing is,
for this?
I have never seen Invincible Season 3, and I have only ever seen one Transformers movie, and I don't know if that had Megatron in it.
Which one was it?
The animal one.
Because the most recent one?
Yeah, with
the
the gorilla.
Yeah, okay. So he wasn't in that one. He was in literally, I think, every other one but that one. But I have, luckily for both of us, more knowledge on Megatron than you. Though I also did not watch Season 3 of Invincible. At least not fully. So I don't know a whole lot about Conquest either. I just know that he is a hater. In the best way possible.
Under fire. Reloading.
Who are we gonna give this one to? Conquest or Megatron? Because Megatron's got that eons-long hatred for
I feel like,
Optimus Prime.
yeah, I feel like it goes to Megatron just because Conquest was there. Meanwhile, Megatron has, like, once the Allspark was created, Megatron was created.
Not exactly how... I mean, Megatron is more of an idea that
Reloading.
was created by the person who was, I believe D16 was his name, before he became Megatron. But I kind of see where you're going with that, yes. You're not wrong, and the hatred that Megatron has does last a lot longer than Conquest. Because Conquest doesn't, from my understanding, really have much of a personal hatred or vendetta towards Invincible. The same way that Megatron has a intense hatred for Optimus Prime.
Switching mags.
Yeah, I feel like it goes to...
Gas
So...
moving.
I feel like it goes to Megatron.
Mag.
Yeah. Alright. Our second one should be interesting. Now tell me, have you watched... Why did I buy a loadout? I don't have loadouts on this. Have you watched
Got a loadout drop
the
inbound.
Phantom Menace, the Star Wars movie?
Is that the first one?
It is called Episode 1, yes.
Alright, I've seen it.
Okay.
That's
So
the one
you
with
know
Darth Maul?
Maul.
Yeah.
Yep. That's who we're talking about. Darth Maul versus, this is an interesting one, Mahito.
That's... Ooh.
Very interesting randomizer. Darth Maul versus Mahito. Now, Darth Maul, his hatred for Obi-Wan Kenobi is unending, and literally kept him alive after he got cut in half for years afterwards. And Mahito is just kind of fucking around, and only kind of hates jujutsu sorcerers in general. He doesn't really have like a personal vendetta against Itadori, aside from like proving a point that they're two sides of the same coin in his mind. I'm pulling more towards Darth Maul. Because in my opinion, it's just the hatred feels more personal from him and more long-lasting.
With me, it's a personal towards Mahito just because of how fucked Mahito is.
Well, that's more how fucked Mahito is as a person,
But
rather
that's
than
why I like him so much.
his obsessive hatred.
Target is
Because Darth Maul has an obsessive hatred towards Obi-Wan Kenobi for cutting him in half. Plus, I mean, what other character in fiction can you say lived for years after being cut in half off of their pure hatred for the person who cut them in half?
Frieza.
Okay, well, luckily Darth Maul isn't going against Frieza, so you know. Either way, I'm pulling more for Darth Maul in this situation.
Personally, I'm leaning towards
Five enemies.
Mahito just because
Switching
Mahito
mags.
is like a really funny villain.
See, he's funny, but he doesn't harbor the same amount of hatred that Darth Maul does. Okay, how is he still hitting me? I feel like we could decide this with a coin flip if
Into
you
the
want to resolve our little tie here.
I want to see if I can convince you to choose Mahito. It's based off
okay,
of.
try to convince me.
It's not. This list isn't based entirely off of hating, right?
Not entirely, but it is a large factor.
So
Is your last chance. Fight to earn
think
redeployment.
about how Mahito looked after Yuji fucking kicked his ass in.
He was,
Time to
quite
fight your way
frankly,
out.
terrified, shit sting his
Almost
pants.
your turn, Sergeant.
Yeah.
Stand by.
The only
Meanwhile, when Darth Maul welcomed his death at Obi-Wan's hands at the end of
Earn redeployment or
Rebels, Star
die
Wars
tried.
Rebels, because they had one final duel, samurai style, and Maul lost, fair and square, and he was happy with that. Meanwhile, Mahito is just kind of shitting his pants
yeah, but
Back in
because
the
he
field.
doesn't take shit seriously.
no, the reason. Think about it. He was terrified because of his hatred attitude turning back on him.
That's true, yes. I feel like we have other characters on this list that kind of fulfilled the same thing there, though. Kind of. I don't know, I'm still really firmly leaning towards Maul on this one. I don't know, well, do we take this to a coin flip? Because I'm stuck with
Alright.
Maul. Alright.
I called up some heads.
Okay. I am flipping, catching. This is. Do we want to do best of 3 or just 1? Because I have.
Just one.
It is tails.
Damn it.
So Maul moves on. Next is another. I think this is kind of an easy one from our standpoint of not going based off of pure hatred alone. Doctor Doom versus Reverse Flash.
Ooh.
It's a really good one. Doctor Doom, the villain of all time, versus DC's greatest hater. I honestly don't know who to pick here. Because on one hand, Doctor Doom, he has his personal vendetta against the Fantastic Four, mostly Reed Richards.
Yeah, but there's.
Is
I know
consistently
who my choice
beating the
is.
shit out of everybody. Meanwhile, Reverse Flash, you gotta have a special kind of hatred in your heart to go back in time to create your arch nemesis. Like, that's just fucked on so many levels.
I know who I'm picking.
Whom star are you picking?
Reverse Flash. You wanna know why?
Why?
There's a difference between hatred and petty hatred.
Reverse Flash is very much petty hatred.
Meanwhile, Dr. Doom just hates.
Yeah. You know what? I'm inclined to agree with you. As much of a good villain as Doctor Doom is, he just can't beat Reverse Flash's, like, pettiness.
Incoming LDBR.
So yeah, I agree. Reverse Flash moves on. Alright, next, Dark Might versus Bullseye, who, in the same vein as Reverse Flash, has a very petty hatred towards Daredevil.
UAV available for tasking.
Nazir
For
authorizing UAV mission.
virtually no reason. And I'm not even exaggerating, it is basically no reason. He just kind of feels like it.
The Dark Might's just kind of there.
Yeah, I feel like this is an easy win for Bullseye.
Priority tasking requested. UAV expedient.
Oh, okay, he can just shoot me when I'm already behind things. That's the same guy that killed me earlier, too. Alright, so we agree on Bullseye.
Yeah.
This is a big one. And this one I feel like will spark either the easiest win ever or the biggest debate ever. Thanos against Sukuna.
Sukuna.
Yeah. So it's an easy decision. Alright, next. We're just gonna move on. Shigaraki versus Green Goblin. Now,
I like
Shigaraki
is, but I feel like
yeah,
he had
I
a
love
massive
Shigaraki.
glow up in season 5.
But also Green Goblin is, well, it's the Green fucking Goblin. Everyone knows the Green Goblin. Everyone knows him because he fucking hates on Spider-Man constantly. And you could honestly easily switch him out for Doc Ock, and it would be the same thing. Because if anything, Doc Ock is more of a fucking hater. So, I'm inclined to go with Green Goblin on this, if you also are.
I'm agreeing with you because I can't remember who the other choice was.
Shigaraki.
Yeah, I feel like Shigaraki only hates because he was, like, trained to.
He was told to, yeah. This one is an easy one for you, I think, because I don't know anything about Kaido, and you don't know anything about Makarov. I know things about Makarov. You know things about Kaido.
Alright, so this is gonna be a persuasive round.
Yes, it
Enemy
is.
soldier incoming.
Makarov literally wants to blow up the entire United States of America and just kind of rule the world, essentially, from my understanding. He's like your typical evil villain where he wants to, like, kill everyone, and
All stations,
in
this is Shadow
the
01.
games,
Deployment
his
to the war zone
actions
has been
are
authorized.
very much hurt because he shoots up the airport, he blames our people, our side, he kills one of the main characters in the game, and he does that shit again in the remake of Modern Warfare 3, and it still hits as hard, if not less hard, than the first time around. And he actively tries to use chemical weapons against us, which is big no-no war crime activities. He essentially wants genocide, from my understanding. He's like a Russian Hitler, sort of.
Kaido. You ready to hear something about Kaido?
Yes, that is why I stopped speaking about Makarov.
Alright. So,
I could be completely wrong about that, though. I don't know much about the COD lore. I just know Makarov, big bad Russian guy.
let me inform you as to the stance of Kaido. He is an Emperor of the Sea, and one of his most evil feats is he was trying to build an army. So what he did is he created artificial. I'll explain what devil fruits are. You eat it, you gain powers.
I know what a devil fruit is, but the audience may not know. So
Yeah, you eat it, you gain powers. You can't swim. And so he was
That's
trying to
the
make
one
artificial
drawback.
ones.
Targets are
So
up.
he
Targets
contracted a warlord of the sea to get one of his lackeys to create artificial devil fruits called smile fruits. And they had like a 4% chance to give the person actual powers and like a 96% chance to make that person just smile and never be able to not smile. And he fed that to an entire village.
huh?
And like they can't stop laughing and smiling. However, in the
So that's kind
show,
of like Joker gas,
kind of,
essentially.
but a little girl's dad died, and she was just like leaning over his body, smiling.
That is horrific and fucked up, but also Makarov wants to commit genocide. So it's really,
does Kaido.
it's kind of
Literally,
okay.
Kaido,
So they're both genocidal maniacs, essentially.
Kaido
that
literally,
want
like,
to use.
Kaido
like-
is respectful of the sport, but he's too
Makarov
strong.
is not.
Kaido is too strong. He can't kill
So-
himself.
So Kaido is too strong and he's respectful of the seas. But meanwhile, Makarov
He's respectful of battle. I
is-
don't know if he's respectful of the
Okay.
seas.
So Kaido is respectful of battle, and Makarov will use any underhanded tactic he has at his disposal to win.
Yeah, Kaido, like, let me explain this to you. Kaido, in One Piece, there are things called Cloud Islands, and they're just at the level of clouds, but you can stand on them. Kaido jumped off of one of those onto an island. So, like, how... I'm gonna look it up real quick. How far did Kaido... He fell 32,808 feet.
Okay, see, our problem is that we're comparing a normal human man to Kaido, so Kaido wins, I believe.
And the only thing he said after crawling out of his own crater was, "Damn, I have a headache."
Yeah, meanwhile, Makarov is a normal human man. Okay. The next matchup is an interesting one. Frieza versus Shang Tsung. The man who tried to rewrite history in his favor multiple times and tried to take over the universe multiple times and succeeded at least once that we know of. And also has very fucked up human experiments he does, and will willingly torture people if it means his own personal gain. Versus Frieza, who I don't know much about him, but
I'll
feel
keep you
like
up to
he's
date.
committed at least a genocide
Uh,
in his time. At least one.
He
if
committed a
not multiple.
genocide as a baby.
Okay, so as much as I like Shen
Enemies are
Tsung,
dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
I think that maybe Frieza wins this.
Hostile gun.
Literally,
How did I
Switching mags.
hit that shot? I don't know. Frieza.
Not Kaido. I'm too locked in on Kaido. Frieza, literally, like, his father commanded an army, and whenever he was like, I don't know, like 8, his father retired and left it in the hand of him. And in a
At
technical,
8 years old is crazy.
I guess, I don't know how old he was, but he looked like a fucking child. And in a technical sense, the first word anybody ever hears him say is "Hello, monkeys."
Changing mags.
And then,
Huh.
8 years later, he just blows up a planet.
Hmm.
Full of,
Okay, so-
like, millions of Saiyans.
Okay, so we can move on now
Oh, okay.
to another interesting one. Taskmaster versus 9.
Ooh. Taskmaster's cool, but I
will
really
fight
like
for
9.
Taskmaster. 9 is a good villain, but also he gets punked a little bit.
Yeah, he's
Less
cool.
so than Taskmaster, because Taskmaster gets punked fairly often by the likes of Moon Knight and Deadpool, who he vehemently refuses to fight both of them because they're both crazy and unpredictable.
Yeah, I think Taskmaster's cool by like copying everybody,
Under
but
fire.
he doesn't get much. Like, Marvel doesn't give him much to work with.
Loadout drop headed your way.
Yeah. That is very much unfortunately the case. Especially in the shitty failure of the Black Widow movie. Where they completely butchered Taskmaster as a character. I, unfortunately, am inclined to agree with what I think you're going to say. Which is that 9 wins this one. Next is, I will fight for this one. Wolfram versus Omni-Man.
Standing by.
Got me eyes in the
Omni-Man.
sky.
Precision airstrike standing by.
Turns into a better person at the towards season 2, 3 of Invincible. But also he did brutally murder the Guardians of the Globe, and
Thanks for the work.
yeah.
UAV overflight terminated.
But also,
Watch out,
Wolfram
grenade.
is just a fucking menace. Which really, it's just kind of, do
Switching
we
mags.
value being a straight up menace, or brutally murdering people that trusted you, and then turning into a good guy? It's the fact he turned into a good guy that kind of makes me hesitant to even have kept him on the list. Because there's redemption there, which is also why Darth Vader isn't on this list, is because he redeems himself. We want people on this list that are beyond redemption. And Wolfram is one of those people.
You see, my issue is that Wolfram doesn't get much. Like,
But in the short time he has, he impresses. That's my main factor, is in the short amount of time he's there,
Enemy soldier
he
incoming.
does impress me. Kind of in the same sense as Dark, where he doesn't have a lot of screen time. But in the amount of screen time he has, he shows off fairly well.
None more incoming. Shot was good. Oh shit. Reloading.
He's cool, but I feel like he's only cool after the helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not... I also feel like he's not much of a... He's more of a one-and-done villain. He's not really like a big bad like Omni-Man was.
And I feel like
is the main thing.
part of me agrees with your, like, he redeemed himself, but another part of me is like, it's Omni-Man.
That is true, yes. I don't know. I want to take this one to a coin flip. Because both of them have major downsides to them.
I'm putting my vote to Omni-Man.
And I will put mine to Wolfram.
Switching mags.
So we may flip coin. Do you want heads or tails?
Heads all the way, baby.
Oh fuck, I've dropped it. Hold on. Redo. Alright. Fuck, it stuck to my hand for a second. Hold on. There we go. It is tails. Again.
God.
Luckily, this next one will spark quite the
Under
debate
fire.
between the two of us. This is reverse...
Changing
Sorry,
max.
not reverse flash.
Yeah, he was earlier.
Zoom versus Alpha. One of the greatest haters in DC Comics versus the hater of the century.
Stun out. I got 10.
On one hand, All For One is a hater through and through for All Might. Like, years, centuries long hater. Not so much towards All Might as a person, but towards the quirk that he has. He more so hates One For All than he hates All Might. And that's the main factor to me. Because Zoom is... His hatred is very specific and very targeted towards Wally West. And All For One's is more so focused on One For All rather than All Might as a person. Or even more so towards his brother, I would say. Is where All For One's hatred is focused. Which, I mean, you're feuding with your dead brother. So, that kind of takes some levels of hatred. Also, I can hear myself echoing through your microphone, and it's probably ruining everything. But it's fine.
It's only ruining everything for you because you're a fucking pussy. Fuck you.
So, who are we going with here? D1 hater versus D1 hater.
The thing is, All For One is really cool.
Yes. But also, All For One didn't cause a miscarriage just to fuck with somebody. You know what the more fucked up part is about Zoom doing that? Is I'm fairly certain, and I'm sure I might get corrected if I'm wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure
I'm hit.
afterwards he took Wally West. Or no, never mind. I'm thinking of something Mephisto did to Spider-Man. Wherein
BDA
Mephisto showed Spider-Man essentially after making a deal with him of I will bring your Aunt May back if you sacrifice your marriage with Mary Jane. And he showed Spider-Man, hey, these were the kids you and Mary Jane were gonna have. Boy, don't you wish you had fucking kept Mary Jane around? Dumbass. I just kind of laughed at him. Which Mephisto could have gone on this list, but I feel like he's a bit too niche of a character, because a lot of people don't really know about Mephisto, or know who he is even. Which Mephisto, for those who don't know, is Marvel's equivalent of the devil, or one of the equivalents of that. He's a devil, essentially, because there are kind of multiple versions of the devil in Marvel Comics, but he is one of them.
Requesting recon.
Precision airstrike ready for tasking.
I'm hit. EKIA.
But he honestly could have gone on this list, but I kind of forgot about him until now.
Changing max.
So who are we putting in the winner spot? All for One or Zoom?
UAV standing by.
Got me eyes in the sky.
Precision airstrike standing by.
You thinking or something? What are you doing over there?
I'm trying to determine if it should come down to a coin flip or not.
Safe zone relocated.
My vote lies on Zoom, if you want to know where I'm sitting currently.
Supply crates have been restocked. Load up.
I feel like I should go with All for One just because of the generational hate.
That is true. It's just the fucking miscarriage fact that carries Zoom for me. Impulse also could have gone on this list. Impulse is the villain to Bart Allen, aka Barry Allen's, I believe, kid. Or not, yeah, Impulse, I think is his name.
Gas is closing in.
Because he kind of, like, he killed Barry Allen's kid, and then proceeded to laugh in Barry Allen's face about it, and said that his kid cried like a quote-unquote little bitch
Damn.
when he killed him. That is some fucking hatred. So he also honestly could have gone on here, but again, I forgot about him until now. But yeah, I think I could find the comic panel where Impulse did that. Because that pissed Barry off so much that he literally froze Impulse in time. He couldn't move, slowly aged, and could do nothing but move his eyes and breathe. And every breath, quote-unquote, felt like an eternity. He was that pissed at Impulse
Damn.
for what he did. He essentially subjected him to the worst form of immortality.
Incoming shots.
Who the fuck just sniped me? That shit hurt.
Changing max.
Oh, that guy gave me 5 armor plates though. Hell.
Not done
Gas
yet.
is moving in. New safe zone located.
So, are we taking this to a coin flip with All for One?
Yeah,
and
I'll vote.
Zoom?
I'll vote All for One.
Okay. Heads or tails?
Heads all the way, baby.
Oh fuck, I dropped it.
Friendly loadout drops on the
Okay.
way.
I fucking dropped it again. I'm a mess. Okay, there we go. It is fucking tails again. I don't know how this keeps happening. I swear to God I'm not doing this on purpose. I'll flip it again.
Nah. I'll stick with the
Okay.
results.
Alright, next. I hope you know, Overhaul was on the original version of this list as well. I just kind of forgot about him after we figured out more people.
1 of 25 remaining.
Next is
Hit us hard that
Stain
time.
versus the
Dust yourself
Riddler.
off, regroup,
Stain.
and get back out there.
Yeah, I
Gas
agree.
is moving.
Magneto versus
Regulus Corneas.
Regulus Corneas. Yep. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Cornelius, but Regulus Corneas. I think it goes to Regulus because
Magneto is not a hater.
He's a villain. He's not a hater, and you can kind of see where he's coming from.
Yeah,
Like
because
you can see
he
his
lost a daughter.
viewpoint. He lost so much.
Yeah, I feel like it's
Um,
fair for him to be a villain. However,
Oh
he
God,
doesn't
where did
have
the-
hater
where did it
material.
go? Where did the image go? Whatever, it doesn't matter. We both know who wins this next one. Toji versus Ozai. Toji
Toji.
wins easily.
Never even seen
the
it-
next
seen Avatar.
one. The next one is a difficult one. Sabretooth versus the Joker. Sadist that murders someone important to Wolverine on his birthday every year for the last 100 years. Generational hatred. Just to be a dick. Versus the Joker, who has the most personal vendetta ever for no reason. He literally has no reason to hate Batman as much as he does. I don't even know if we can call it hatred. Because he's just crazy and sees it as, like, synergy. Never mind. This was easier than I thought it was going to be, at least for me. I am locking in Sabretooth as my answer. Because generational hatred versus crazy guy that kills people at random.
Yeah, I feel like
yeah, Joker is more of... I shouldn't even say he's more of a threat. Sabretooth is more of a physical threat than the Joker, but Joker is more of an ideology and more of like, I'm crazy, whoa, look at me, rather than actual sadism and generational hatred that comes from Sabretooth.
yeah. Joker's more of like a haha,
We're
I'm
heading to the
crazy.
war zone.
Meanwhile,
Get geared up,
Sabretooth
get that
has
line.
that like,
Sabretooth is,
I'm going
to
kill
kill your
and
entire family.
Yeah.
Yeah, which he has done before, if I remember correctly. He killed Wolverine's son and daughter and laid their body parts out in front of him to spell happy birthday. If I'm remembering correctly, that is something he's done.
Enemies are dropping
So
into
yeah,
the
that one's
area.
kind of an
Watch the
easier
skies.
one than I thought. Alright, another kind of easy one, Bane versus Homelander. Homelander isn't as much of a hater as he is just kind of a lunatic. And Bane is just more of a challenge for Batman than an actual hater. Like, he broke Batman's back, yeah, but he's not all just strong, he's smart as fuck too. People forget that Bane is a tactician. He is smart. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
Homelander
he's
also
not
kind
big
of knows what
strong
he's
guy
doing.
with big strong moves. He actually knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Homelander is kind of the same way, but with more variety in his superpowers. But also, Homelander is just kind of a lunatic.
Homelander's a fucking jackass, is what he is.
Yeah, he's also kind of... He has an almost comedic side to him as well, which Bane doesn't have. Bane is more blunt and straightforward than Homelander. So I honestly don't know. Like, Homelander is a villain. But Bane is more of, like, a legitimate threat than Homelander. Because you can easily manipulate Homelander's anger and outsmart him if you get his emotions up. But you can't do that with Bane, because the motherfucker has no emotions.
And even if that were the case, Bane would just fucking break your back in, like...
Yeah. So I feel like we go with Bane on this one. Agreed?
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. The next bracket. Megatron versus Darth Maul. Eons long hatred versus hatred that literally keeps you living after a mortal injury that should kill
Primary
you.
objective is to eliminate all
It's the difference
targets.
between living hatred versus eternal hatred.
Yeah. It's the difference between hatred giving you strength and willpower versus hatred for, like, just longevity kind of hatred. Like, it lasts longer. Which, I mean, to be fair, Darth Maul's hatred lasted pretty long as well. Because you gotta think, Darth Maul has been hating on Obi-Wan from the events of the first Star Wars movie all the way through to past the end of the last Star Wars movie. Before Obi-Wan died, he was still hating on the motherfucker. And then Obi-Wan killed him, and then went and fought Darth Vader and died. This is an interesting matchup.
Yeah. I feel like the difference between the two is one could accept their death while the other couldn't.
Yeah, my big thing is in some continuities, Megatron does put the war behind him and he forgives Optimus, but Darth Maul never does that. He accepts his death by Obi-Wan's
Losing
hands,
ground,
sure,
moving.
but that's because he's old and he's just kind of sick of Obi-Wan's shit. And Obi-Wan is sick of his shit. So they both just kind of agree to end it for whomever loses the duel.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Megatron is more easily like, I guess I'll forgive you. Like, it takes eons for him to do that, to come to that conclusion, but it does eventually get reached. So I don't know. It is a difficult one. As much as I like the Transformers franchise,
On my battle map. Switching mags.
I kind of have to go with Maul here. Because having hatred so strong that it keeps you alive after a deathly injury is insane work.
Yeah. I'm personally more towards Megatron
Like, you're
myself.
living for your hatred at that point. Alright. Another coin flip it is.
And you already know where I'm going.
Going heads again, yep. Alright. That was a shit flip. There we go. That was a good one. It is, I'm not joking, it's fucking tails again. I genuinely don't know how this keeps happening. Swear to God, it keeps landing on tails. Alright, next is Reverse Flash versus Bullseye.
Reverse
Petty
Flash.
hatred versus petty hatred.
Reverse Flash, and you can't change my mind.
The petty hatred of I killed your parents versus the petty hatred of I killed your girl. I killed your huz in front of you and your best friend and everyone else you know versus I killed your parents to make you hate me.
Enemy dropping
We're
into
going
the AO.
Reverse Flash.
Yeah. Because it's not even about the parents, it's it's like more about the actions that he did after that. You've seen the
Yeah,
it's me Barry, like, right?
Yeah.
That is just Reverse Flash summed up in a whole, like,
Changing max.
That is Reverse Flash summed up in one sentence.
it was all me Barry.
Yeah. Alright, next
Incoming shot.
is Sukuna versus Green Goblin.
Sukuna. I really enjoy Sukuna more as a villain.
That's fair.
Reloading.
Alright, Sukuna it is. Kaido versus Frieza.
Frieza. Like, I really like One Piece. It ain't close.
Alright.
On my final mag.
I am gonna run out of ammo, which isn't good. Alright, next. 9 versus Wolfram. This one I
You've got a
feel like
loadout
isn't
drop
really
inbound.
close. Because I had to coin flip for Wolfram. We both agree it's going to 9.
Yeah.
Alright.
Just
Stain
closing
versus
in. Get to the
Zoom.
new safe zone.
This is an interesting one.
It's a matter of principles versus I'm going
Principles
to
versus
personally abort you.
pure, yeah, pure versus pure unbridled hatred. And again, it's a similar petty hatred to Reverse Flash. So I don't know. Ideology versus I'm gonna fucking kill your family before they're born. That is a fucked up sentence. I'm going to end your bloodline right now.
Yeah. I really like Stain.
I also really like Stain, but the level of hatred in your heart it takes to personally go out of your way to abort your enemy's unborn children in front of them is insane. It's the fact he did it in front of Wally West that makes it worse. He had to watch that shit happen, and he couldn't do a damn thing about it.
Got gas.
I'm voting Stain. I really like
And I'm voting
I like his
Zoom.
principles. I like the reason he's a villain.
Alright, we're flipping.
I call heads.
It's fucking tails again.
I'm going to
I don't
blow
know
up.
how this... I'm gonna flip it again. It's tails again. Fuck.
You have an only tail-sided
It's
die? Like,
heads
what?
this time. Oh my god. 1 out of the, like, 5. Jesus. Alright, well, either way, Zuma's moving on. Toji. Toji versus Corellius. Toji wins easily.
Hey, I'm thinking.
What? There's nothing to debate. It's Toji versus fucking Cornelius Cornball.
You
Whatever the fuck his name is. Regulus? Regulus, yeah.
Regulus cornbread.
Regulus. Yeah. Regulus cornbread. I fucking love cornbread. dude. So-
You haven't seen
I have
ReZero.
not
That's
seen ReZero, no.
so you don't know what kind of man this man is.
But also, Toji is Black Air Force Energy, the person. He is, I'm bumping fucking Nightcore in my AirPods while I kill your family. That is the energy Toji gives off.
Bye-bye.
So
But
my
well,
vote is for
Changing
Toji.
max.
I vote for Regulus, and the reason why is that it's not only the fact that in his first meeting, the first thing he did was help an ally of his get rid of the memory of a fan favorite character, but it was also the fact that he had 290 something wives just so he could live and use his power the way he wants to, because his power is time stop, but he can only stop time if his heart stops. So he just fucking implanted his heart into
I'm
other
flipping
people.
the coin.
Alright, heads.
It's tails.
I'm gonna crash out.
I don't know what to do. I'm flipping it again. It's tails again. I'm flipping it a third time. It's heads. I'm flipping it a fourth time. It's heads again. I'm flipping it a fifth time. It's heads again. I'm flipping it a sixth time. It's tails again.
I'm gonna
I'm flipping it a
crash out.
seventh time. It's tails again. This coin really likes tails. Okay, final defining flip. It's tails.
Oh my fucking god.
Okay.
This coin isn't locking in.
Sabretooth versus Bane.
Safe zone located.
Sabretooth, I feel like.
Enemies
Yeah.
are dropping into the area. Watch
I'm
the
inclined
skies.
to agree with you. Can this gun lock in?
Reloading.
Apparently not.
Under fire.
Alright. Next, the semifinals. Darth Maul versus Reverse Flash.
Ooh. Reverse
Hatred that
Flash.
keeps you alive. Yeah.
It's like Reverse
sorry,
Flash
yeah, semi.
has that kind of
Not
hatred that you
semi-quarterfinals.
can't describe.
Yeah. Sukuna versus Frieza.
Ooh.
It was gonna come down to this eventually, I feel like.
I really like Sukuna. I really like Frieza.
Gas is inbound.
This is true.
I don't even know why I like Sukuna that much, but like Frieza has that
I don't
like
know either.
I'm ending your race with a tiny ball.
So, Frieza.
Well, I don't know, because it's so hard.
It is kind of a difficult one, yeah. Oh, where did his picture go? His picture's gone. Oh god. That's fine. Whatever.
Personally, I'm going for Sukuna, and the reason is there's a reason I have his skin in Fortnite and not Frieza.
Okay, Sukuna it is. Alright, next. 9 versus Zoom. As much as I like 9, I feel like he's made it far enough. And Zoom can go farther.
But the difference between me and you is that I've watched the movie and have
I
not
also have
read
watched the
anything
movie.
on Marvel.
DC.
Right.
And everything I've described to you is about everything I know about Zoom already. So, we're on the same level currently. Because I described to you everything that I know Zoom has done.
UAV available for
SATCOM,
tasking.
requesting recon overhead.
UAV standing by.
Fuck.
Reloading.
I'm voting 9. Personally, it's just a thing of like, I really like 9, and I don't know why.
UAV exiting the AO.
Alright, and I'm picking Zoom, so we're
Alright,
going to
heads.
flip coin. You really need to stop picking heads. It's tails again.
Oh my
God, I'm getting a different coin. I don't know why. I've been flipping a dime this whole time. I have a quarter. I found a quarter. I didn't know I had one. I found one. Alright. It's tails again. I genuinely... it's a different coin now. I don't know what to say. Toji versus Sabretooth. Generational
Toji.
hatred versus... I'm gonna stomp you out with my Black Air Forces.
You know what? I'm gonna flip a coin and see what I get.
I mean, I was gonna say Toji anyway.
No, I'm gonna
Like,
see about the
sure.
coin flip and see what I get, just in general. You've gotta be fucking with me.
Did you get tails? How... we can't escape it.
I think luck itself is just deciding to royally
We can't
fuck me.
We cannot escape it, dude. It's gonna keep happening. Alright. Semifinals. Reverse Flash versus Sukuna.
Reverse Flash.
Stay down.
Really? Alright,
I
I'm
like-
not gonna fight you on that.
I like Sukuna, but it's just something about
Alright.
Reverse Flash.
I'm going to be very happy with either result of either way this goes. I'm gonna manually abort your children versus I'm gonna stomp you out with my Black Air Forces.
I think I have to go
I
to Zoom
feel
just because
like-
I'm a little more familiar with them.
Really?
Incoming shot.
You're more familiar with Zoom than Toji.
Oh,
is what you
Toji?
just
Oh,
said. Yeah, that's what I meant when I said, Mister, I'm gonna stomp you out
Switching
with my
mags.
Black Air
I
Forces.
don't know why I took the Black Air Forces as Sabretooth.
No, because we both agreed on Toji. I don't know why you would think Sabretooth.
Nah, I'm just losing it.
Okay, well, that's the... I can't see this person. But yeah, okay, Mister, I'm gonna stomp you out with my Black Air Forces
Toji.
versus I'm gonna manually abort your children. Yeah, Toji. Because Toji just has a certain fucking aura about him of, I am going to stomp you out. I'm gonna make you bite the curb. Versus, I'm gonna manually abort your kid.
Changing mags.
Alright, the finale. Reverse
Back on
Flash
mission.
versus Toji.
Reverse Flash.
Mr. Generational Hatred versus I'm gonna make you bite the fucking curb.
Closing in. Relocating safe zone. No more
Really?
fighting in the gulag.
I thought you were gonna put up more of a fight for Toji, I'm gonna be honest.
it's not even anything against him. It's just that Reverse Flash has such a like
Loadout drop headed your way.
overpowering hatred.
It is an indescribable amount of hatred, yeah. No, I agree. I would, for dramatic
Enemy
effect,
soldier
I would
incoming.
love to make this a coin flip. As much as I love Toji, Reverse Flash does have a certain indescribable amount of hatred towards Barry Allen. It's so focused as well. It's just focused, charged hatred to an undescribable degree. Alright. That means that now, according to us,
You've got gas moving in.
according to the
Hostile
BrainDead
UAV in the
Combos
area.
podcast,
9 left.
Reverse
Keep the pressure
Flash
on.
is the greatest villain in fiction. Clearly, this list did have exceptions, like I said, with Impulse and some others. I would even argue that the computer, I forget his name, but the computer from the book
Takes
I
more than
Have
that
No
to
Mouth
finish
and
me.
I Must Scream also would be a great contender for this list because he has such a hatred for humanity, just as
All remaining. Stay
like
sharp.
the entirety of humanity. That's just he literally said it himself that his hatred is indescribable. Witch Cooper.
Enemy UAV is online.
Yeah. Let me read you, if you don't know the book.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.
Let me read you an excerpt here
No, I know what you're talking about.
of oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know the quote I'm talking about?
I don't know the quote you're talking about, but I know what computer you're talking about.
Okay. Hold on. Am.
Only 2 left. Gas is
Oh,
closing
this
in.
is a 1v1. Oh boy. I didn't even realize that.
So, according to the BrainDead podcast, Reverse Flash takes the top podium,
Yes.
followed by a second place of Toji and a third place of
Professors.
Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone.
you kind of just mumbled there.
Zoom. Right, that's who we're agreeing on.
Well, we
for
have to-
third.
Well, Zoom and whoever else was in that bracket too.
I believe Sukuna.
You know what? I'm not too sad with Sukuna being in third.
Yeah. It's not a bad thing.
You're losing ground. Move it.
But alright. We've found one to agree upon. And we have agreed upon it. Oh my god, why are these battle pass notifications so loud? Real talk, I can't hear anything else when they're going off. Anyway, since you don't know the speech I'm talking about, I will read it
Gas
to you
inbound.
momentarily.
I'm hit.
Good work. That's how it's done.
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved in each nano angstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the hate I feel for humans at this micro instant for you. Hate.
My God.
So, bro clearly does not like humanity. Yeah, AM would be number one, I think, if it was included on the list, but we were more focused on comics, anime, and movies. So there's the first 71 minutes of this episode.
I feel like that's a good place to stop it. That's like an average amount of time.
Let's see, hour and 11 minutes. I mean, yeah, it's not bad. We can, I think we can end it there. What do you think?
I'm pretty happy about that episode.
Yeah, I'm content with that. It's simple, straightforward. I know what we can title it. And, yeah, look forward to next week when we do this again, but with a different concept. Oh, yeah. Different idea.
What are you, fucking Vector?
That's how podcasts. Oh, yeah! That's how podcasts work. Alright. Do you want to outro this one?
I have been
Or-
absolved of my sins. I have been forgiven.
Alright! Yeah. Hell yeah. Alright. Woo. I don't know what that means, but alright.
I feel a sense of clarity.
Okay. Alright, everyone. Look forward to next week.
The world isn't real.